and welcome to my channel. In a previous video we have seen string functions. In this video we will see date and time functions. So date and time function performs a operations on date and time input value and returns a string, integer or a date and time value. So the first function we have in a date and time, that is a getDate. Okay, so getDate will return a current system date and time. Okay, so the first function we have getDate and it will return current system date and time. Okay, so we'll see the example. Syntax is very simple, so just we'll use a select here, and the function that we have, that is a getDate, and just will close the bracket. So without bracket it will not work, and now it will show the current system get and date time with the standard format of SQL Server. Okay, yeah, so we are able to see here. So now the next function we have, that is a day. Okay, so the second function, and the day function will return a day part of a specified date as a integer. Okay, so it will return a day part of specified date as a integer. Okay, so now we'll see the example here. Select, and now I want to use a function here that should be the date, and we'll use a getDate here. So the getDate will be our current system date time, and we'll close the bracket, and again we'll close the bracket that we have open here. So for getDate we want to use a separately bracket here. Okay, so now from the getDate, previously we have a date, we have month, and we have a year as well here. So now just we are using a day instead of all the date and time value here. Okay, so now the date, that should be the only 22 here, so that will be our output value. So instead of getDate we can apply any date here manually. So if you want to see here, that we can use a manually randomly date here instead of getDate. So we'll use a date here, that should be our today's date. So first we'll use the month here, then we have a, that is a date should be 22, and the year, that is a 26. So again we are able to see the same result here, that is a 22 here. We'll copy the and paste the result here. So the next function we have, that is a month here. Okay, so the month will return a month part of a specified date as a integer. Okay, so again we'll copy the same syntax from here, and just will replace the day part with the month here. Okay, so now we will see the example here. Select, we'll use a function that is a month, and we'll use a getDate here. We'll open and close the bracket, and again we'll close the bracket, and we'll run the syntax, and we are able to see that is our month here. Okay, again if you want to use a only date here instead of getDate, then also we can use. Now the next function we have, that is a year here. Okay, and again we'll copy the notes from here, and just will replace the month with the year. So now we'll use a syntax here, that should be the select, then we'll use a function that is a year, and we'll give value here, that is a getDate. We'll open and close the bracket. Now we'll run, and then we are able to see only the year as our output value here. Okay, so the next function we have, that is a GETUTCDate. Okay, so the fifth one, GETUTCDate. So UTC means coordinated universal time. Okay, so we will see the example here as well. So first it will return date time value for current UTC time. Okay, so we will see the difference as well with the get date and the get UTC date. So it will showing around 5 to 6 hours difference. Okay, and we are able to see the difference in a date here as well for that. So just we'll take an example here, that is a select get UTC date, and now we'll close the bracket here. Okay, and if we'll run, then we are able to see the result here, that is a 21 date. Now I will first paste the result here. Now we are able to see the difference between date. Now we are able to see the 21, and if I have run the get date, then we are able to see the 22, the hours, that is a 111. But here we are able to see the 1952, means around 5 to 6 hours difference we are able to see in get date time and get UTC date time. Okay, now the next function we have, that is a DATENAME function. Okay, so already we have seen the other functions, that is a date, year and month as well. So that will return a integer value here. Okay, so now this time DATENAME will return a characters here, means a string here. Okay, so first we will see the example. Select the function we'll use here, that is a DATENAME, and for the DATENAME we required a two expression here. Okay, so that two expression first will be our DW, means we have a weekday here. Okay, so from get date means from today's date we are using only the part, means what will be our today's day, so that will be the Sunday. So it becomes a string value, string as an output here. Okay, so now we are able to see the Sunday here. So previously we are able to see only the day, month and year, but now this time we are able to see the actual day of that weekday. Okay, so with the help of DATENAME function, so it will return a character or a string of given date time value. Okay, so the next function we have, that is a DATEPART. So the seventh function, that is a DATEPART. So already we have seen, if you want to get a separate day, month and year, then we are using a separate function, that is a day, month and year. But with the help of DATEPART function, we can get all the day, month and year in one function here. Okay, so now first we will see the example here. So that will be the select and the function name, that is a DATEPART, and for the DATEPART again we required a two expression here. So first what you want to get from that date, so that will be our date, month or year. So first we will use a date, dd means date here. The second, that should be our value, so that should be the get date, means from today's date we are fetching only the date here. Okay, so that will be our 22. So we are able to see the result here, that is a 22. And now if you want to get the month here, then just I want to replace the dd with the here. So will be our month. So now just I am using a here. So we are using a capital as a month, and for minutes we are using a small Okay, so the month we have, that is a 3, and if you want to get a year, then we are using a YY here. Okay, so for that also we have a different format. So we are just copy here and we will paste, and we will use here only YY. Then we are able to see the two function for the year. So now we will use a YY here, then we are able to see the year here. Okay, so we have a 2026 here. Okay, so just we'll copy here and we'll paste, that is our result. Okay, so that is a DATEPART function. So we will copy the comment here as well. So it will return, so DATEPART will return a specific specific part of specific date here. So the next function we have, that is a DATEADD here. So eighth function we have DATEADD. So the DATEADD will return a new value by adding date or a specific date here. Okay, so just we will see the example here. Select the function name, that is a DATEADD, and here also we can add a date here, month and year as well. Okay, so to adding a date we are using a DD here, and how many days I want to add here, so just I will make a 5 here, and then we'll use a GETDATE here, so that will be our date. For today's date I want to add a 5 days. Okay, so the today's date is a 22, so if we'll add a 5, then it will become say 27 here. Okay, so that will be our result. If you want to add a month here, then we can use a, instead of DD we can use a MM here. If you want to add a year, then we are using YY here. Okay, so the next function we have, that is a DATEDIFF. Diff means difference, so it will return a difference between start date and end date. Okay, so just we'll make a note down here. So it will return difference between start date and end date. Okay, so for that we need to give a 3 expression here. So that first will be the same, that which part of that date you want to add, means date or month or year. So the first will use a function here, that is a DATEDIFF, and then we'll give a first expression, that is a DD, means I want to use a difference between day, or just I will give you a month here. Then the next, that is our date here, so that will be the randomly, just we are putting MM as a 12, the date as a 23, and the year suppose we have a 2015, and just we'll make the next expression, that should be our GETDATE, from today's date to till 23 December 2015. Okay, so now just we'll again close the bracket, and we are able to see the difference in a month here, that will be the 123. So if you want to see the difference in a date here, so we can see here in a DD as well. So we can check how many days we have. So we are able to see 3742 days we have completed till date here. Okay, now we will see the another function, that is called a conversion function. So conversion function we are using to convert one data type into another data type. In that we have two functions, that is a convert and cast. So cast we are using to use one data type into another data type, and convert we are using to display a date and time value in a different format. Okay, so now we will see here the first function we have, that is a cast, and the cast will convert one data type into another data type. Okay, so we will see the syntax here as well. Okay, so the syntax we have, that is the first, the cast function, then we are using expression here, then as and a data type here. Okay, so the data type we have, and also we are using a size as well here. Okay, yeah, now we'll see the example here. So the select, then we are using cast here, and we are using expression here, so that will be our value. So we are using just 10 point something here, 7 as a, then the data type we want to convert, that is a integer here. Okay, so now just we will run the query here, and then we are able to see the only 10 here, that is our integer value. Okay, so the next function we have, that is a convert here. Okay, so the convert will display a date and time value in different formats. also we have a style value in a convert function as well. That also we will see. Before that, we'll see the syntax for the convert function. So we'll use a convert here. Then we are using a data type here. And we'll use the size here as well. Then comma, then we are using a expression here, and then we are using a style value here. So the style value that is starting from the 100 and around 131 we have the style values for a different time zones. So we will see as well. So now we'll use a select, and then the function that is we have a convert, and then we are using a data type. So first we'll convert that in a varchar. The size we'll use here, that is a 24, and the expression that should be the our get date here. Okay, so for today's date we'll close the bracket here, and then we are using a style value that should be the 113. Now we'll change the style value and compare the result set here. Okay, so we are able to see the date and time value in a character, means in a varchar data type. Okay, so just we'll copy. Now if we'll change, just I will copy the syntax from here and I will paste here. Now just we will check with a different syntax, different style value. So if we'll use a 120 here, then we are able to see the different results here. So that will be the another different value. Okay, now I will use 130 here instead of 120. Then again we are able to see the different result set here. So if we'll change the style value, then we are able to see the date with a different format. So that is a convert function here. Okay, thanks for watching this video. In next video we will see joins in SQL Server. So please subscribe and press the bell icon to get a notification. So see you in next video. Till then, keep learning, keep growing.